Illinois is atop the Big Ten at 13-5 in conference baseball play with 2 weekends left in the regular season. Very tight race. They're game up on Purdue, Nebraska, and Indiana. Iowa in the hunt as well. The Illini open a weekend series at home against the Hawks this evening. That includes a Mother's Day matchup Sunday here on the Big Ten Network. Dan Hartlieb is the head coach of the Fighting Illini, and he joins us now. Coach, this is a team that feels like it has gotten better and better as the season's gone on. You started the season at 5-10. Since then, you're 23-6. What do you think has improved so significantly with this team?
Well, it's looking at the early season and the early schedule. We had a very tough schedule. We didn't handle it very well, both mentally and physically. We started to lose some games and let that snowball. We kind of hit rock bottom, and our guys banded together, and they stayed close. They've had great energy, and they've just played at a high level. So it's been fun to watch them. We've gotten a lot better since the beginning of the season. And again, it's a mental thing that we've kind of overcome as well as the physical part of it. So really pleased with what our guys have accomplished to this point.
Well, Coach, you've accomplished it in large part thanks to your offense. There's not a ton of subtlety with what this team does. You lead the Big Ten in OPS. You far and away lead the Big Ten in home runs. Tell me about the offensive approach with this particular group.
Well, this group has done a great job of commanding the strike zone. We've not chased a lot of pitches out of the zone. We forced pitchers to go deep into counts and throw pitches over the plate, and then we've done damage when we've done that. The thing that we really tried to do this year, I mean, if you look last year, we had a lot of home runs, but we didn't win games. But we weren't good hitters. And when I say that, we struck out too much. We weren't on base a lot. And so the focus this year has been head high line drives. If you run into a ball and it gets out of the ballpark, that's a positive and a plus. But this group has done a really good job with the physical. But to get to that physical standpoint, you have to do a really good job with the mental. And this group has worked extremely hard. We have a new hitting facility that opened up about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, the Atkins baseball training facility, and that's been a major source of development for us, and our guys have taken advantage of it. They spend a lot of time in there on their own, and then they spend a lot of time in there with the coaches, and it's really paid off.
This is your 19th season as the head coach in Illinois, 34 years on the staff. You're the winningest coach there all time. What are you proudest of your accomplishments?
Oh, boy. Well, the longevity has been awesome. The fact that we haven't had to move our family around. But the thing I'm most proud of is the players that have moved on and are successful in life. I mean, that's the thing that we talk about in our program, being well-rounded, go to class, graduate, be productive in the future. It's not about the wins and losses. I mean, the winning's fun. It's nice. It's one of the reasons that you get to stay at a place for a number of years. But it's all about the players. And, they don't always understand when they're in the process and when you're pushing them and you're hard on them. But it's really rewarding when they come back and understand, that some of the success that they're having beyond here are because of a number of the things they've learned and the experiences they've had while they're at Illinois.
You talked about winning a lot of games. You were mentored by a guy who won a ton of games. It's Jones, 1,200 wins in his career. You played for him at SIU, then came with him to Champaign, were his assistant for a long time before taking over as the head coach. What are the biggest things that you learned from Coach Jones that you've been able to apply to your program?
Well, I don't know that we have enough time to go through all those things. There's a number of things. Let's start with the things I feel like are most important. Having a family life and a personal life outside of baseball, not taking the game home with you, I think that's really important. I think that keeps you going as a coach. And, our assistants have had that same opportunity to have a good family life, and it keeps them refreshed. From a baseball standpoint, basically, it's just keep things simple. We don't have a lot of specialty plays and a lot of gimmicks. It's just being very fundamentally sound. And the one thing that I would say that he always thrived on was getting better throughout the year, and not taking practices off, and really having a foundation for what you're doing. And so, I was extremely blessed to spend that amount of time with him. He's not in very good health now, but I still hear from him each and every game. He's confined to a wheelchair, and probably doesn't have a lot of days left, but it's pretty special when I continue to hear from him, even at this time. I've said this many, many times. He's the best human being that I've ever been around.
Well, a lot has changed since he was the head coach of Illinois, frankly, since you took over as the head coach of Illinois, and that includes conference games coming up on the West Coast next year. From a baseball point of view, what does that expansion mean for the league?
Well, I think the expansion is really good for the league. We're bringing in 4 really, really good teams. I think it's going to expand the areas that we can all recruit. I'm hopeful that as we continue to move forward, that there's a way that we can push the season back, because I think that the Big Ten, along with college baseball, could create more revenue, not only from gates because of good weather, but also some of the things that you could do as far as TV and advertising and playing a little bit more in the summer. So I do think the teams coming into the league will help us as we move forward. And again, it's going to make the conference that much more competitive.
Well, let's talk about the league as it is currently constituted, and that includes you guys and Iowa. You start a big series with them at home coming up later today. Iowa's won 10 of its last 13. They are really playing well. Give us a scouting report on the Hawkeyes and what you're going to need to do to stay in first place after the weekend.
It's simple. We're going to have to swing the bats. They've got one of the best pitching staffs in the league. They've got 3 really quality starters, and we're going to have to go out and be very consistent and take our strength and beat their strength. We've been good defensively, and we've been up and down on the mound, so we need some consistency there this weekend. But I just talked to our guys about not trying to do too much. Do the same things that we've done to put ourselves in this position. Don't go to the plate trying to hit home runs and do something special. Just play with the calm, play with intensity, and everything else takes care of itself.
Well, it certainly has taken care of itself at home this year. You guys are 18-2, which is just a staggering number. I mean, I think about overwhelming home court advantages in basketball. You think about home field in football as being huge. That seems like a really extreme home field record in baseball. How do you account for 18-2 at home?
Well, we got better at the right time. We had a lot of early games on the road, and then we came home and changed our mentality, and things just fell into place where we got to play, the vast majority of our games a little bit later in the season when we were hot. And so, it's always fun to play at home. We have great crowds. We have great support, and it's been a lot of fun, not only to go on the run, but to do it in front of our home fans, which they're just awesome.
Well, Coach, I'm going to leave you with this. It has been 9 years since Illinois baseball won the regular season in the Big Ten. You are on the precipice, but as we showed at the outset here, there are a number of teams right on your heels. What would it mean to close the deal and to win a Big Ten regular season title?
Well, championships are why you play, right? It's why you're involved in athletics. I mean, there's a lot of things. We talked about the players and them moving on, but while you're here and you're in the moment, it's why you go about things. It's to win championships, play at a high level. It's always fun to win championships. We've got a lot of work to do to get to that point, and we can't look ahead. We need to take care of business tonight and look at that first pitch. But I'm proud of our guys, where they've gotten us to put us in this position. I've always said to be a good, stable program going into the last 2 to 3 weekends, having an opportunity to win a title, put you in pretty good light on a yearly basis. And our guys have done a good job to get us to this point, and hopefully we can finish it out.
Well, Dan Hartlieb, congratulations, not just on a really good year this year, but on all the success you've had through the years in Champaign. We'll be watching this weekend. Excited to see this series with the Hawkeyes.
Great. I appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks.